What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into his video, shout out to the brother Eric Bennett for the $15 donation via the Cash App. Salute to you, brother, for showing love to the channel. Always have great video ideas and requests. Thank you for showing love to the channel. So the Golden State Warriors got a much-needed victory last night against the San Antonio Spurs. Despite Victor Wembanyama's triple-double, I think, what's the guy named Stephon Castle? I think he had a triple-double too. Despite the exploits, Steph Curry dropping 46 was just enough to edge out the Spurs. So although Steph can't do it every night or with the regularity he could do in his prime, he was able to do so last night. You know, somebody who did really absolutely nothing again last night, but always got something to say? Draymond Green. All right? Draymond Green, who talked about everybody else need to step up and perform, had 6 points, I believe 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 1 of 10 from the floor, 0 for 7 from three-point range. Now, he did connect on 4 of 4 from the line, so that 46% free throw percentage is going to go up. But I also told you that three-point percentage was an aberration. And he's going to probably reset back to that 30%, 29% that he's almost always at every year. And this is the problem. In an era where you need, it helps to have a guy that can play defense, but you need bigs who can knock down shots. You need somebody who can hit shots from the perimeter, and he cannot do that. Not with great consistency. And, you know, it does look like Draymond Green and Jim Butler got their way because Jonathan Kaminga was not in the starting lineup, if I'm not mistaken, last night. They benched him. And I think it's just stupid. Let me say it before I go forward. The Warriors are a stupid organization. They're stupid. Ever since the guy, what was his name, Myers? Whoever the general manager they had that went to ESPN. Ever since that guy left, they have been the stupidest, most poorly run organization. This organization is going to struggle so hard when Steph Curry retires. Why on earth do you have Jonathan Kaminga anyway? What's the point? Okay, you weren't able to move him, right? You weren't able to move him. He doesn't want to be there. So at the very least, play the dude, let him bring up his value, his market value, and then get rid of him. No, you're going to bench the motherfucker because of these has-beens to placate to them. They're not going to be there for another big contract. It makes no sense to me. Stupid organization, man. But anyway, let's talk about Draymond Green, man. You know, on this channel, I've always called out how I think he's just a bum, right? An absolute bum who doesn't even deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But I'm glad that people like Craig Carton are calling this out too, right? Now, Craig Carton used to be on FS1. He has his podcast. And on his podcast, now that he's not affiliated with a major network like FS1, he can speak his mind more often. And he talks about how, in his opinion, Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer, right? And we totally agree with that here on Too Raw for TV.
I want to be clear. Draymond Green is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Based on his numbers, he just doesn't deserve to be. It's a numbers game, man. All sports come down to numbers. And his numbers belie the truth that Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer, and yet Draymond Green will be a Hall of Famer. He might even be a first ballot Hall of Famer, depending on when other guys retire and what that class looks like and how many dudes retire in the same year when they finally become eligible.
Yep.
But I knew I'd get you on that.
No,
I knew it, and I feel like I'm just having a great day today.
To help you a little bit, I looked up what the geeks think about him with the advanced stats, and here are players that they compare him to real fast.
Give me three.
Gordon Hayward.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Christian Laettner.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Zach Randolph.
Thank you. That's exactly where he is. And if not for Steph Curry, he'd be thought of as Zach Curry. That's exactly right. Yeah. And by the way, if anyone compares you at the NBA level to Christian Laettner, they're trying to be nice to you, and they don't want to tell you to your face that you're not a Hall of Famer. So they compare it to a guy who's a great college player.
One-time All-Star.
Period.
Yeah, Christian Laettner was a one-time All-Star. Literally, one-time All-Star.
Meanwhile, tomorrow.
And I think they're being generous comparing him to Zach Randolph, because I would take Zach Randolph any day of the week over Draymond Green. Zach Randolph was better than Draymond Green, in my opinion. But yeah, those other comparisons, yeah. Christian Laettner is one of the greatest collegiate basketball players ever. But as an NBA player, he was okay. He was okay. Not a Hall of Famer. But he is going to be, I believe he is in the Hall of Fame only because of his collegiate basketball career. Christian Laettner. But Draymond Green is not a collegiate Hall of Famer. So he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But the only reason he's going to be in the Hall of Fame is because of his connections with Clutch, because of his connections with the broadcasting and the journalism and media community, really the journalism and media community. He has ties with them. And, you know, he's been able to politic, and he's interwoven himself, and the Clutch has helped to interwoven him into the Steph Curry and Klay Thompson so-called trio. So that, you know, somehow he's essential to this dynasty, this Warriors dynasty. I say all the time, man, to me, Draymond Green would be Byron Houston in the 90s. That's who he would be. Too undersized to effectively play against the bigs of that era. Right? Just too small. In the post, he just wouldn't be able to stop them. And the players who he would be able to stop on some occasions, have some effectiveness with, they would probably be some of them would be too fast. Like, I think he would have success against guys like, Chris Mullin, guys a little bit slower of foot. He would have some success against them. But those guys with like extreme quickness, the athletic guys like Tracy McGrady and Iverson and Kobe in their primes, no. He'd be a tweener, is what I'm trying to say. He'd be a tweener. Too big to guard in the post and too slow-footed to be effective on the perimeter defending guys. And he can't score. He can't shoot. And back then, it was more about shooting the mid-range. So if he can't shoot threes, you know he ain't got no mid-range game. He wouldn't been in the league, man. I'm telling you, man, this nigga he'll been out the league in 3 or 4 years. And we've never heard of Draymond Green. And if he's just on a bad team in this era, we wouldn't hear shit about Draymond Green. And all those players they named, Christian Laettner, Zach Randolph, Gordon Hayward, they're not Hall of Famers. They were better offensive players than this guy. And this era seems to highlight and seems to worship scoring. Is Draymond Green's defense elite? Yeah, I would say throughout his career, he's been an elite defender. But that doesn't guarantee people being in the Hall of Fame either. Dan Roundfield's not in the Hall of Fame. T.R. Dunn's not in the Hall of Fame. Darrell Walker's not in the Hall of Fame. Theo Rattler's not in the Hall of Fame. That nigga ain't no Hall of Fame, man. Garbage. The numbers show it and the eye test show it. I don't care about no damn narratives, no propaganda. Man, that's all I got to say about it. Tell what you guys think.